here. My name is Claire.
My name is Erimo.
And welcome to the Wine Safari.
And if you have not been with us from the beginning, welcome back. So today we're actually excited because we are going to handle something that it's one of the most important things when it comes to the wine world. Being able to approach a wine and a wine label in this case, and being able to communicate with it, to understand what the producer is trying to communicate. So, and that is one of the most important things when you're buying wine, because you just don't walk into a store and just pick anything.
Yeah.
But what happens is wine labels can be intimidating depending on where they're from. Although there are countries that are pretty straightforward, so they will tell you, they will either give you much information or they just keep it simple.
Yeah. So guys, remember that a wine label does not necessarily give you the taste of the wine, but it helps you to pick the right bottle.
What you find is that on the back label, yes, they won't tell you the taste.
Yeah.
They will give you a clue of the style of wine to expect.
Yes.
So for instance, if it's a red, they will tell you whether it's rich and powerful and complex. If it's a white, whether it's light and crisp, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when it comes to labeling styles, we have three styles. We have wines that are labeled according to their varietal, and that is the name of the grape. Two, we have according to the region, that is where the grapes are grown. Or three, made up names, in this case fantasy names. So, and right before we dig into it much further, we have 5 things that are always on a wine label.
Yeah, you'll never miss them.
Yeah, and if you do something is wrong with that wine, it might have come from a fishy place.
Yeah.
So these 5 things are: 1, the producer's name; 2, the region; 3, the varietal, and we stroke that against appellation, because depending on country of origin, there are countries that pay attention to the name of the grape, and there are countries that pay attention to appellation labeling. Then 4, we have vintage, and 5, we have alcohol by volume.
Yes.
Yes, so those 5. To the 3 styles that I mentioned, 2 styles are common with New World countries. 1 style is common with Old World countries. The 2 styles that are common with New World is varietal labeling and made-up names. That is a style that is most common with New World countries. Regional labeling is common with Old World. Now, what do I mean by Old World and New World?
So yes, Old World and New World are the classification of the labels. So the difference between the 2 labels is that in the Old World country, these are countries that are considered to be the first or the birth places of the wines. And examples of these countries are from Europe and the Middle East. So each of these examples of the countries are
of Old World countries.
Yes.
Like France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, and Germany. Those are Old World countries. Those are the pioneers of winemaking.
Yes.
New World
countries are South Africa, USA, America, and those countries are considered to be the colonies, or they exported grapes during and after exploration. So those are the 2 differences in these countries, and why they are named old and new. Yes.
Yeah.
The Old World countries are very strict to their
strict rules.
Yes, strict rules to their production of wines, while the New World countries, they are free to explore and experiment with the wines.
Yeah.
So that is also another difference.
Yeah, and that is why you find that the appellation part of labeling is common with Old World countries, because appellation in this case means that a producer is qualified to label his or her wine with a certain appellation, because he or she followed certain rules, like the type of grapes that are grown, the crop yield, the alcohol percentage. They have to be very specific on such things. So it cannot have that appellation classification in it if it does not qualify.
Yes.
So for instance, we have Our first example is an old world labeled wine, and this is a wine from France, and it's from a sub-region called Chablis. So for French wines, or say old world countries that label their wines according to the region, when you're going to buy such a wine, it's important that either you have information beforehand or you have to do a bit of research when buying such a wine, because for this, these people will not tell you what type of grape it is. They will, it's the region that tells you what grape is in, there, what grape was used to make the wine. Yeah, so in this case, this wine is from Chablis. This is a sub-region of Burgundy. And Chablis is best known for its Chardonnay. So you see Chablis, and that is most definitely a Chardonnay. Then right under it is the appellation, and this is AOP, Appellation d'Origine Protégée, if that's how they say it.
We hope so.
Yes. So AOP is the first French classification for wine. So this means this is a grand wine.
So grand wine means?
Very high quality.
Oh wow.
Yes. So with French classification, there are 3 types of classification. We have AOP or AOC, which is the first classification. We have Vin d'Ope, which is country, in other words, is country wine. And we also have Vin de Table, which is table wine. Yeah. So a wine that is that has AOP on the label is a high quality wine. And they say it's a grand wine from Bourguignon. Oh, French terms. We are not French. We're not French, but we try.
Yeah.
So this is a wine from Burgundy, and well, here, or for most of us, called the region Burgundy. In France, it's called, it's tough name here, but we can't seem to pronounce. Bourgogne. I tried. We'll have it somewhere up. Yeah, and something else that definitely can't miss is the vintage. So this is a 2015 vintage, and they also do mention the producer, but they don't pay much attention to it. So, for instance, the producer's name is right here at the bottom. So that was to show you that the regional labeling is very important in the old world countries. We also have another example, which is from Italy, and it's now Italians, or Italy labels its wines either by the name of the grape, and if they do label the wine by the name of the grape, they will mention where it's from. So say it's a, for instance, this is a Barolo, that's the name of the grape, Barolo. For instance, this is a Barolo from La Mora. And right after the name of the grape is the classification, because Italy also has classification method, and they are classified into 3. So a wine can either be DOCG, like this one that we have right here. It's DOCG, and that's this one right under.
Okay.
So it's a long name, but it reads Denominazione di Origine Controllata e Garantita. That is the first class in French, in Italian wines. If it's not DOCG, it's DOC, that's Denominazione di Origine Controllata. Or IGT, which is Indicazione Geographique Tipica. So that's what you'll find on Italian wines. And if it's DOCG or DOC, that means for it to qualify to be classified under DOCG or DOC, the winemaker followed a certain specific rules to qualify. But you find that with IGT, for instance, one that we have here, the difference is, this one is labeled according to the name of the grape, this one is labeled according to the producer. So the producer is Thomas, and the grape, they also mention the grape, it's not as strict as DOCG, because here they have, when it comes to IGT, they have the freedom to even mix up the grapes. So you find that some of the grapes used in the wine are not even Italian, like Merlot, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon. If it's under IGT, it means the winemaker was free to use grapes from
the region.
Yeah. So we also have the vintage 2016 and the name of the estate, or say winery, which they have it in photo. They illustrate. So if you go to this winery called Le Rose, that's exactly how the winery looks like. Yeah. And other things, of course, it's the alcohol volume. Every wine will indicate its alcohol percentage. Yeah. And also, what else? Yeah, so that's basically it. So what you pay attention to when it comes to Old World is it labeled according to the region or according to the producer? It's labeled according to the grape, and that is common with Italian wines. Where is the grape from?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're good to go.
Imagine it's that easy.
It's that easy.
So we now come to the New World countries, and you said the examples are South Africa, that is what it's our neighbor here,
yeah.
And for today we do the South African wines and American wines. So example, the first thing that you will notice about the American or the New World countries, their labels, they label by grape or by varietal, as she had said in the beginning. So the first thing that I look into a wine label when I get in the store, I always want to know where the wine comes from. So the country of origin. And the country of origin will always be at the front or at the back. For this, the country of origin is written down here, wine of South Africa. There. And for this one, it's behind here. Where is it? It's from the US. So if you don't find it here, it will be at the back. The next thing that you notice when you look at this, the New World country labels, the main name that you will see is the brand name. And the brand name can either be it can also be the winery or the producer's name. Yes, or the vineyard. So example will be Silver Mountain Vineyard, that one. And this means that 85% of the grapes, 95% of the grapes that were used in making this wine came from this winery.
Yes.
It can even say at winery. So this is the name of the winery or the brand, as I said. It can be the brand of the winery or the vineyard. So for them, this is the winery, the Corn Creek. So the other name, the second largest name that you will see is their variety, because they always name their wine by variety. And the variety here is a Cabernet Sauvignon. I want to show you this one from South Africa, Chardonnay.
Yeah.
So this is the second largest name that you can see on the label. Then the next thing that you will see on the label is the vintage. That is always in both labels, the old and the new world. So this one is 2015. This is when the grapes were picked. This one is 2015. I mean 2009. Yeah. So the vintage will always be at the front. Then the other thing that you'll not miss out on the label is the viticultural area. The viticultural area is an area that is, designated to grow certain grapes that are of good quality and very premium. Example is the Napa Valley, the well-known region called the Napa Valley. So this is Napa Valley. That means that 75 of these grapes are from this Napa Valley region. So here is the Napa Valley. So it's from that area.
It is known to be one of the best growing regions in the world.
Yes.
So the fact that we have it is a very good thing.
Yes, you'll find it in our store.
Yes.
Something else is
that, as I mentioned, if it's not by the variety, labeled according to the variety, it can be labeled according to a made-up name or a fantasy name.
Yeah.
So, and we have an example.
An example is this one. This is a hot trot. Hot trot is the made-up name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's
and
someone is asking,
Hands is the producer.
Is the producer. labeled by the specific estate. Example of this is Greenfield Estate. That means that 100% of this grape that were used to make this wine was grown, processed, fermented, and bottled in that same location, that estate. So that is the difference. They have labeled it down here. Springfield Estate.
Yeah.
The last one is the alcoholic volume, which is always on the bottle, whether new or old.
Yeah, so if you're looking for high alcohol wines, that is most common with New World wines. With New World country wines.
Yeah.
If you're looking for low alcohol, that is the old world countries they're not big on very alcoholic wines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the essence of knowing the alcoholic volume, and also it helps in knowing if it's a sweet wine. If it's a sweet wine, it will be low in alcoholic volume. If it's a dry wine, it will be high in alcohol volume.
Yeah.
Yes. And also the other thing is the amount. The standard is 750 ml of a bottle.
Yeah.
So they all label it here, 750 ml. There are others that come in bigger bottles, the Magnum bottles, that is 1.5. So yeah, those are the standard.
If you want a bit more information, we also have the back labels.
Of course.
Yeah, and on the back labels, they typically or generally will tell you how the wine is made, or a short story about the producer, or the style of wine it is, what you expect when you're having it. Yeah, so back labels are pretty self-explanatory, and in most cases you'll definitely find a warning. So they will warn it's not good for pregnant women, it's not for sale to persons under the age of 18, or something like excessive alcohol is harmful to your health. Yeah. So that is information that you find on the back label.
Yeah.
Something else is definitely the importers information, especially if, like for example, us, all these wines are imported. So the importers information will also be included.
Like this one.
Yeah, so this is the importer.
And the bubbles.
Wines and bubbles.
And this one is California wines and bubbles.
Yeah. So those few things and you're covered. You're covered, and one thing is that being able to decode a wine label will save you time, and it will also ensure that you get value for your money. And chances are even higher that if you can tell what type of wine you're buying, where it's from, you will enjoy a high quality wine.
Yeah.
You can't be ripped off when you can read a wine label, basically.
Yes. And this is the festive season now. I know you'll be able to pick the right bottle for yourself and for your loved ones.
Yes, so no intimidation for you.
Yes. So it's wine during Christmas this time.
Yes, buy and drink wine. Walk into the store, and if you can't read the words, ask. It's always good to ask.
Yeah.
Of our video today, we hope that you enjoyed the brief and quite simple discussion on wine labels. Let's hope that when you get out there, or when you come to our store, you're coming because now you know how to read wine labels.
You have the courage.
Yes. It's all easy when you get the hang of it. The 5 basic things, you're good to go.
Yeah. So thank you so much for watching us, and we hope to see you next time. Same place, same people.
Take care of your wine. Bye.